Running an online business is hard enough without the stress and time consumption of managing hosting. Whether managing one WordPress site or dozens, Kinsta's managed solutions offer speed, enterprise-grade security, and an intuitive dashboard. With 24/7 365 human-only expert support, get peace of mind that your sites stay online, secure, and performing their best. Start today and get your first month free with migrations handled for you. Learn more at kinsta.com/podcast. That's KINSTA.com/podcast.
But the key thing with insurance and a deductible is that just because you pay your deductible does not mean the rest is covered. You usually still have an 80 or 80-20 split where you are still responsible for 20% of whatever that emergency situation is, which is why there's so many people that have medical debt. Is they, I think there's a stat that says 65% of bankruptcies are due to medical debt, and 90% of those people had insurance. That's like mind blowing. And so people think, oh, insurance, it's government regulated, it's good, I'm safe. But insurance doesn't mean you're going to get the things paid for. The claims are often denied, right? And so you go through this whole whatever emergency situation only to find out like, oh, yeah, my insurance did pay.
Welcome to the Beautifully Broken podcast. I'm your host, Freddie Kimmel, and on this show we explore the survivor's journey, practitioners making a difference, and the therapeutic treatments and transformational technology that allow the body to heal itself. Witness the inspiration we gain by navigating the human experience with grace, humility, and a healthy dose of mistakes. Because part of being human is being beautifully broken. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Beautifully Broken podcast. Today we are joined by Carol Yeh-Garner. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. It's actually Yeh-Garner.
Yeh-Garner.
Like,
oh, I didn't see the H on top of that. It's in purple. Yeah, that's even better.
Uh-huh.
Yay!
Yay!
All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. So we were put together by my good friend, Christine Dionisi. And I'm so excited to have this conversation around health insurance and health coverage. And man, is it needed right now in the United States, and more so the holistic wing or the holistic arm of all these complementary therapies you and I both believe in, from acupuncture to chiropractic to IV drip to thermography, that are typically not covered under a health insurance policy.
Right.
Yeah. So why are you into health insurance, and why is it important to you in your life?
Yeah. Well, we were paying $2,300 a month for a PPO, thinking like we're doing what's responsible. We're being responsible adults for our family so that when and if we have an emergency situation, we can see whoever we want. We're paying that crazy amount for years and years and years, thinking this is what you do. Like if you can afford a PPO, we tend to see more holistic people. So like if there was an emergency situation, we would be able to see whoever we wanted. And then our daughter got sick. She's 18 years old and she got strep throat. We tried all the natural ways of dealing with it. But at a certain point, I just knew like she needed antibiotics, and we would just deal with the aftermath of antibiotics naturally later. So we called the pediatrician's office and they said, oh, she hasn't been here in 3 years, so we can't see her. And I just was shocked. We're paying $2,300 a month and we can't even get in for a 10-minute appointment with a nurse practitioner, because all they're going to do is look in her throat, see that she has strep, write a prescription. They'll get paid for it, and end of story. And they wouldn't let us come. And so we ended up having to go to urgent care, waiting at urgent care, paying for that out of pocket, then going back to the pediatrician's office to pay for a well visit so that she could get back into their system. And once that was done, I just was livid and just so frustrated that we had been paying into the system for so long that we just got denied regular, just minimal care. And so I had heard about health shares for a while. And historically, when I was looking at them, they were very religiously focused, and we aren't religious. And so it didn't really match up and mesh with us. But then I found one that was not religiously focused, and I looked into it, and I just thought, like, this is a cool idea. Like, it's a community of people that's pooling their money together, and everybody else helps each other with their health care costs. And I thought, this is genius. Instead of me paying into a system that doesn't really want me to stay well, that doesn't want to pay for my daughter to just get an antibiotic when she really, really needs it, that's causing people to go into medical debt and just get denied for their claims. Why am I paying into that system when I can be in a system that actually wants to help people? And so I did more research, and I brought this actually to the company that I work for, which is Young Living. And they said, we are interested. Here's a different company. Could you talk to them since you're already in the health share, research mode, and see if this would be a good partnership? So I met with the CEO of Clearwater, which is a healthcare vendor. They've been around since 2018. They sell traditional health insurance, but they also have health shares, supplemental insurances. And once we met, I was like, this is the company. The CEO is super holistically inclined. He's got 5 kids, rarely goes to the doctor, does all the holistic kinds of things that you and I do. And then the medical director is also very holistically inclined. So basically, we got the green light from Young Living to create this plan, which is exclusive to Young Living members. And I knew that there had to be a holistic part of this because it would make this plan stand alone above and beyond any other health share. So we built into the system holistic plans. There's a holistic savings plan that gives you 3 visits to any doctor you want to see. If you want to go see a naturopath, you can actually go and see a naturopath and get up to $150 reimbursed in cash to your bank account. Like, that's unheard of. And then there's 12 acupuncture or chiropractic visits with the holistic savings plan, where you can go see any chiropractor or acupuncturist you want. You don't have to have a medical need. They have to have this code or that code approved or anything. You can see them whenever you want. And the beauty of these visits is that you end up paying $35 for the visit, and you can get up to $175 reimbursed. Again, in cash, straight to your bank account. The holistic regular plan is the more robust one. So this is the one that we are doing. So it comes with 24 acupuncture and chiropractic visits per person per calendar year. I get that $175 back. I'm making sure that my chiropractor and acupuncturist have wellness centers. So I'm going and seeing my chiropractor and getting add-on services. So I'm getting a massage or a facial, and she has one of those soft wave machines. So I'm going to do that the next time I go and see her. And I'm getting $175 back for every single visit because I'm maximizing my visit. I'm adding on so that my visit is around $210 for each visit. When I go to the acupuncturist, I'm adding on Reiki. I'm adding on a sound bowl healing. And I get to choose what I want to do and get those huge reimbursements. The other cool things about the holistic plan is that you get 1 IV drip per month, where you end up paying $20 and you get up to $100 back. So I'm getting a once a month IV with like glutathione and, vitamins and stuff like that. So these plans are really meant to be for the kinds of people that are proactive about their health, that are doing all these holistic services and paying a ton of money out of pocket. And it's expensive to stay healthy and to be proactive about your health. But the investment, most people especially that listen to your podcast, most people understand investing in your health now is a huge payoff later, right? Investing in doing these kinds of things now is going to help reduce the likelihood that you're going to have a chronic illness, an autoimmune disease, cancer, a really big kind of disease, illness later on. And that's what Clearwater really saw with these holistic plans. A lot of people are like, how are they even making money? they're not on a person like me that actually is going, twice a month or more to my chiropractor, acupuncturist, using all the benefits and getting the reimbursements. But in the long run, they are saving money because the likelihood that I'm going to end up with some kind of really expensive need for medical care, unless it's an emergency situation, is lower because I'm doing all the kinds of things that you and I tend to do proactively.
Yeah. Yeah. So we have this holistic wing. And I think that's, I've never heard of this. I've never heard of a
Yeah.
health insurance policy or a share that would cover IV therapy or IV drips, glutathione injections,
Mm-hmm.
biohacking technology, pulsed electromagnetic field. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And in the same breath, I also want to understand, because accidents do happen. We do
Right.
have emergency medical.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could be anything from a car accident to something that shows up in a scan. What happens when it's more severe? How are you covered in a health share policy?
Yeah. So ClearShare is the health share portion of the plan. So people can sign up just for ClearShare standalone. They can sign up for the Wholistic Savings or the Holistic Plan as a standalone plan, or they can do the combination plan, which is what we're doing. So ClearShare is a health share. So for those that aren't familiar with what a health share is, it's a community of people that are pulling their money together. Everybody pays a monthly fee, just like a normal insurance policy would. This is not insurance. This is an insurance alternative. So you pay your monthly fee. That all goes into the community pool. And then you have something called an annual max, which is like a deductible. So there's a $1,000, $2,500, and a $5,000 annual max. And if you have a medical issue that you need urgent care, ER, whatever, you would end up showing your card to the hospital or urgent care. They would contact ClearShare. They would do all the billing information, contacting all of that. ClearShare would end up sending you a bill for your annual max, and everything above the annual max would be taken out of that community pool. The cool thing about ClearShare is that you get $0 telemedicine 24/7, 365 days a year. So you can use that doctor. You'll have a doctor in your phone because you'll have an app. And within 10 to 20 minutes of clicking, I want to see a doctor, you'll have a doctor or a nurse practitioner on the phone with you via call or even video call. They can check you out. You have a rash, you have a cut, you have a kid that got a concussion. They can do a whole concussion protocol. You sprained your knee, you want to get an evaluation. They can do an evaluation over the phone. They can write prescriptions. So that's going to keep you out of the doctor's office and having to pay the copay, having to wait the hours of whatever to get in for an emergency visit or waiting in an urgent care or emergency room. And then if you do have a true emergency, you just end up paying your annual max, which is what you would normally do with a deductible. But the key thing with insurance and a deductible is that just because you pay your deductible does not mean the rest is covered. You usually still have an 80-20 split where you are still responsible for 20% of whatever that emergency situation is, which is why there's so many people that have medical debt. Is they, I think there's a stat that says 65% of bankruptcies are due to medical debt, and 90% of those people had insurance. That's like mind blowing. And so people think, oh, insurance, it's government regulated, it's good, I'm safe. But insurance doesn't mean you're going to get the things paid for. The claims are often denied, right? And so you go through this whole whatever emergency situation only to find out like, oh, yeah, my insurance did pay, but they only paid this much. And now I'm left with this humongous bill. And so this kind of a plan, health sharing, it's flipped. They want you to get the kind of care that you deserve and that you are paying for and that you need. And they don't want to make it prohibitive for people that if they have a medical emergency or medical situation, that they're then stressed out because now they have medical debt.
Yeah, just because we have so many people that listen to the podcast with a chronic illness, there's even people going through cancer.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody has a diagnosis that's going to lead them to longer term care. Is there a limit to how much the health share will pay out? Is there a time limit for
Yeah.
just, I'm imagining all these different scenarios that come
Right.
up, which for me, and I've actually been in a health share before, I read the fine print, I looked at the details, and it just made me a little bit nervous, just
Yeah.
especially given my health history.
hmm Yeah. So if you're on the ClearShare program and you have a pre-existing condition, there is like a 5-year ramp up in terms of how much is covered. So if you haven't required treatment or hospitalization for 12 months, then you get a certain capped amount. And then the longer you go without treatment or hospitalization, then the more amount is covered. And then after 5 years of no treatment, no hospitalization, then if you have a reoccurrence, it's seen as a new issue. But the really amazing thing about the holistic plan and the holistic savings plan is there is no pre-existing condition exclusions, and there's no annual max for the holistic plan. So people that have insurance that may have cancer or have those long-term kind of disease issues and they're getting the treatment through their health insurance, keep the health insurance, but add holistic savings or the holistic plan, because now you can start seeing the acupuncturist, the chiropractor, the naturopath, get the IVs and do all those kinds of things and get probably at least half or more of your out-of-pocket costs reimbursed for your visits. So
Yeah.
the holistic plan, we really wanted it to be available for anyone. And so there's no pre-existing condition exclusions, which is really wonderful because so many people, especially your listeners, they're wanting to use those kind of holistic services and, alternative methods of dealing with things. And it's so cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So this is a way that really can just give you some more money back into your pocket so that you can maybe go see the practitioners more often or just be able to live with a little less stress in terms of your budget being so tight because you want to do all these kinds of things, but you can't really afford it. This will let you
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah. My other question is in terms of, again, we sign up for a primary partner organization, right? So there's a group, and sometimes there's practitioners who are in network and out of network. What about choosing a practitioner? Does any of that matter on a plan that is considered a health share program?
Yeah. Another wonderful thing about this plan is with the ClearShare plan, there's no network. You can see whoever you want. And if you show your card to the doctor or the wellness center and they're like, what is this? You just have them call ClearShare. ClearShare will do all the explaining and education about what this plan is about. If the practitioner that you're working with is used to billing insurance companies, they can bill ClearShare directly if this is for a ClearShare, like medical emergency kind of situation. And there doesn't need to be anything between you and the company. But if it's for a holistic service, what you're going to do is you're going to pay the practitioner up front. So the practitioners aren't at risk of like anything. They don't have to wait
Yes.
for anything. They get paid up front. I get the invoice with itemized things. So when I go to the chiropractor, it shows that I saw a chiropractor for an adjustment and that I got a facial or a massage or whatever. And so then I submit that invoice to ClearShare. There's an app on my phone that I can just upload the picture. You can also do it on the internet. And within 30 days, I get reimbursed. If your doctor or practitioner is sending that in, they will also get reimbursed within 30 days. So it's not like typical health insurance where the doctors or the practitioners are waiting months and months and months before they get their measly little percentage of the payment. They're getting that money. The client is, the member is, the practitioner is within 30 days.
Yeah, amazing. That really helps, especially when funds can be tied up for a little while and you're waiting for that insurance check. I know both providers have reflected that to me, that said, I'm waiting for $8,000 for the last
Right.
6 months of treatment. And same thing when I've submitted a bill and I'm waiting, or it's
Yeah.
been contested in the past. It's so interesting. I've been pretty much everybody I've seen in the last 5 years, it's a precision medicine. So I actually pay to be a member of a medical practice. And so I get my 4 lab reviews, I get access to the technology. So in a similar way, it's kind of a collective. My question for you about the health share, is there any transparency as far as what the pool looks like of funding? That would be the other thing that
Mm.
I'd want to be sure that I was covered as far as like how much is in this pool. Because you got to imagine, if you have 30,000 people, not everybody's going to have emergency instances, but it does
Right.
happen.
Yeah. There's no way to see what the pool is with ClearShare or with the whole company. I can find out about that, but the company has been around since 2018. And I do know from speaking with the CEO and the medical director, they've paid out millions and millions of dollars for health issues, people with cancer, brain surgeries, emergency, all the things. So it's a nonprofit, so they have to make sure they're keeping their members happy. Like this company, the majority of health shares would not last if they weren't paying out what people were needing to be paid out. Because it's basically member funded. So it's unlike a health insurance where everybody is paying into a corporation and that corporation is keeping the majority of the money for themselves. This is meant to pay out the money for the members. And like I said, if the members weren't happy, the company wouldn't exist. And so they've been around since 2018. So they're a solid company. But as of
Amazing.
now, there's no way, I don't think, that you can see what the pool is, what the total pool is.
I might be wrong, but I want to say that was a feature on the one that I was looking at, and it was like this massive sum of money. I was like, "Oh my goodness, we'll never go through that." And it showed you how many members were enrolled, and you sort of had a warm fuzzy feeling that you were going to be covered. It's just such an interesting way, and it's totally different than the standard model.
Yes.
The other thing that just really it comes up for me is that when people are looking at, again, a standard pricing model, let's just say Blue Cross, Blue Shield. I think just for me in Texas, it was, $890 for a single, 46-year-old guy.
Yeah.
You said, what was your family paying above $2,300 a month?
So we were paying $2,300 a month with a $7,000 deductible per person. And then they sent us a letter saying, oh, by the way, we're increasing your premium to $500 a month. So it would have been $2,800 total with that $7,000 deductible per person. I am 55 and we are paying $940 a month.
Wow.
And then because I'm seeing the chiropractor, the acupuncturist, getting my IV, my husband gets an IV as well. With all of those reimbursements, we're getting around $600, $700 back a month for our holistic services. So $940 plus getting back $600 to $700 of services that I probably wouldn't have done, honestly, because I don't have an extra $600 or $700 to put towards seeing the chiropractor and acupuncturist twice a month or whatever and getting the massages. I would have done like the bare minimum. I had actually been holding back on seeing those practitioners just because of the budget. But now that I know that I can get up to $175 and I'm only paying $35 for that visit, I'm like, game on. Here I come. I'm going to see my holistic practitioners as much as possible and get all those things done that I've, had in the back of my mind, but budget wise and just life, being a mom and all of that gets in the way. But now that I know that I have this plan, I'm ready to use it and reap the benefits.
Yeah, it's a really great option, especially when you consider, and that's for your whole family.
That's for my whole family of 4.
That's wild. And that's your emergency medicine. That's the holistic healthcare.
Yep.
You guys are covered across the board if anything happens.
Yeah. And there's no limit to how many kids you have. So you could have, 10, 15 kids and it's the same price. And then they cover kids up to the age of 26 as long as they're unmarried and they don't even have to live with you. So that's really, really nice. There's also this other thing called care coordination that is part of the ClearShare plan. That's a perk that I've never heard of anything like this. So it's for planned medical procedures. So if you have an X-ray or a lab, MRI, biopsy, or surgery, a planned kind of thing like that, Or if you have specific diagnoses, like you get diagnosed with cancer, you can contact the care coordination team. They will do the research to find the best practitioner in your area with the best price and the best kinds of outcomes. And if you use their recommended practitioner, the entire thing is free and your annual max is completely waived. So if you knew you had to go get a knee surgery, this is like a new knee thing that you started this plan with, it wasn't before, and you had this knee thing and it was bothering you and you needed to get knee surgery, what ClearShare would do, what the care coordination team would do is they would likely recommend that you go get your surgery at a surgery center versus a hospital. And the reason being is surgery centers have better outcomes. There's a better staff to patient ratio. It's much smaller. So you're going to get better care, which leads to better outcomes. But for ClearShare, because a surgery center costs way less than a hospital, they're saving maybe $20, $30, maybe even $40,000 by you choosing to go through the surgery center that they recommend. And because you're going to save them such a massive amount of money, they're like, okay, we'll just pay for the whole thing for free and waive your annual max. So if you have the ClearShare plan, you've got that $0 telemedicine, which basically is your doctor in your pocket, your urgent care in your pocket. Then you can use the care coordination for your non-emergency medical things. So really, like, the only time you're going to pay towards your annual max is if you have a true medical emergency, which for most people is going to be pretty rare.
Yeah. And again, it's just my bias is that I want everybody to be covered. I know I have friends that they are very healthy and they opt out of having a policy, and it's just
Yeah.
the world we live in. I know too many people that's gone south on, and it
Mm-hmm.
can quickly lead to bankruptcy. So
Right.
it's just so important that even though it's an imperfect system, that we do find some alternative. I had just mentioned this to my friend. She is in the middle of treatment for breast cancer, and she just got dropped from her policy
Ugh.
because I can't remember the reason. It's terrible, whatever. They had met their max as far as like what they could
Oh
pay
my.
for per employee, and because she was not working from the office anyways, terrible. So she's, in her last 2 rounds of chemotherapy and flying
Mm-hmm.
for this very special, unique way of delivering the chemo. And so she's paying the last 2 rounds out of pocket.
Ugh.
Obviously, for her, this would be a pre-existing condition where it would probably be capped to some degree.
Yeah.
But it's just, again, I use that as an example because you do want to have a provider who, again, is not going to drop you when shit
Right.
goes sideways.
Exactly.
And that happens all the
All
time.
the time.
All
Yeah.
the time. You could be
Yeah.
paying and you could be in good standing, and you could all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're just going to stop because we feel like it. So I think that's
Right.
another thing that's really interesting. I'm certainly ready to do some more research around this.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I've looked at health shares before. It's great timing, right? Because we're coming
Yeah.
up to the marketplace is opening. We're
Right.
doing open enrollment soon, right?
Yes. Yep. Starting November 1st. Yep.
Starting November 1st. So people, you
Mhm.
have options. That's what I'd say if anybody hears this, to certainly explore. Where is the best place, Carol, for people to start doing their research and really drill down on the details of these policies?
Yeah, they can go to the Young Living website. It's just www.youngliving.com and just kind of scroll down, find the banner about health plans, click explore plans, and that can take you to where you need to go. So these plans are exclusive to Young Living members only. So the cool thing is you can become a Young Living member for free. You just create an account that creates your member number. And then once you have your member number, you can sign up and enroll on any of the health plan options that you want. They do have additional options. If you want dental and vision, you can add those on. And there's no network for those either. So you can go and see a holistic biological dentist, and you just have a capped amount for those. And then the other really cool thing is if you are a practitioner, a holistic practitioner, or you have a small business, or you have a small business with a couple of employees, you can sign up to be a Young Living brand partner, which is a business person. You can share these plans with the clients that come to your wellness center or your employees. They would sign up on their own, they would pay for it, but you have another income stream then because you can
Oh,
earn a little bit
interesting.
of commission from sharing about this plans.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to be able to, because there's so many people that are in the space of holistic health. Oftentimes they're bypassing the insurance, not doing insurance, but they will go out and pay for their acupuncture or
Right.
chiropractor, or,
Hmm.
they'll go to their upgrade labs, and they'll
Yeah.
lay in the red light beds and do the
Right.
hypoxic breathing machine. So it'd
Hmm.
be interesting to have a business actually offering a policy, which then they could turn around and
Right.
use for
Yeah,
reimbursement at the center. Yeah, it's really,
exactly.
really interesting. Yeah, my brain is always, it's hard not to focus on how broken it is.
Hmm.
But when I hear about things like this and an innovative way to try to deliver the same care and cover someone in emergency medicine, it's really inspiring. I certainly know it has to change, because the
Yeah.
incentive model is not to keep people well. And it sounds like this is slanting in that direction, at least.
Yeah. I've done some research. There's no holistic plans like this out there. There are some health shares that do offer some chiropractic, some acupuncture. There are even some insurance plans that will cover some chiropractic and acupuncture. But the caveat with those is it does have to have a medical need. Like you have to have an injury, and then you have only a certain number of appointments. It's capped. Once you hit those, the practitioner either has to like make up a new diagnosis for you, or
Hmm.
you're basically, out of luck in terms of getting it covered. So this is the most comprehensive. The thermography, we really wanted to put that in there as an option. For women, you can get one thermography per year, and you end up paying the first 150 and the rest is covered. So we've really put this plan together. You can also get Young Living oils and supplements up to $75 a month reimbursed.
Oh,
So
wow. That's
yeah,
incredible.
I know. So for us, we're getting $900 worth of supplements or oils reimbursed for our family. So it's a win-win-win for us, for the health share company, and then anybody who is in the wellness field. This is a plan to really look into, especially if you own a center or are a doctor or have a small business that your employees prefer more holistically inclined kind of services.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's so funny. My friend, his wife is a Young Living rep out in Maui. And I know
Uh-huh.
they really go above and beyond to take care of their employees, Honu, which
Yeah.
they just escaped the fire
Mhm.
last year.
Yeah.
Their restaurant was saved, and they are serving again. But he goes above and beyond he had built a biohacking center for
Oh.
everybody that worked at the restaurant. So, and
Uh-huh.
I imagine, are all of the reps and people who work with Young Living, are they aware of this, that this is being launched and going out?
I think they are. So this plan just got launched in March. It went live in March. The
Okay.
Young Living and Clearwater, they partnered in February, and I had been
Okay.
working on this plan prior to that. But so yeah, it officially launched in March. Depending on how active a Young Living member is, they might not know that this even exists. So
Yeah.
there's, a huge opportunity for Young Living members. If you're a Young Living member, you already have a member number, you can sign up and start reaping the benefits of these plans. And if you're not a Young Living member, it's super easy to sign up. It takes maybe less than a minute to create that account to get the member number. And once you have a member number, you're good to go.
Yeah. Oh, I love the energy behind the action. I love the idea of investing on the front end. We're going to pay it on the
Mhm.
front end or the back end.
Yeah,
So invest in
exactly.
your health. It's much easier to keep the body, keep the terrain robust than it is to reverse when it's
Right.
become severely deficient in nutrients and minerals and energy and all those things that we talk about
Hmm.
on all the shows.
Yeah.
And it sounds like it's pretty simple to explore and start digging in and doing a little exploration and seeing if this is a good fit for you and your family. I know that I've never heard of cost offering at that price point in my life.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm certainly going to be looking at it. I know what I spend on health insurance, and I know what I spend on complementary medicine a year.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
It's a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you for being a guest. Thank you for delivering
Thank
all this so
you.
clearly. And again, I've been meaning to bring this into the conversation. It's like, okay, what do we do when the rubber
Hmm.
meets the road and you have to come up with some of these services that are so essential to maintain robust health?
Yes.
And this certainly sounds like a great option out there.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to share about it and look forward to having your listeners learn more and get on this plan because it's really, really fantastic. It's a fantastic
Yeah.
way to be proactive about your health.
Yeah. High value, short, sweet, to the point. We love it.
Mhm.
In your experience of really investing in your health and your vitality, what are some of the things that have been most transformational as far as lifestyle changes that you've incorporated into your life or that of your families?
Yeah, I mean, so many things. Obviously, the complementary alternative medicine, chiropractic, acupuncture, IV drips for myself. We've switched our entire medicine cabinet out to natural remedies. And so I've done my best as a mom to drill into my kids like things with artificial dyes and things with, phthalates and parabens and those kinds of things are not healthy for them and for their fertility in the future and for their long-term health. I've done all the things, gotten rid of fluoride. We have a whole house water filtration system with a fluoride filter. We do red light. We do cold cryotherapy. And I'm willing to try any weird woo-woo-y kind of thing. And as a former client of Christine, she's had me do a lot of weird woo-woo-y kind of things. And
Yeah.
I've done them green light. Yep, I'll give everything a try and see what works. And I'm always looking for those modalities that can just make life better, help us be healthier overall, help our mood be better. So I'm always looking for the newest, latest kinds of trends of biohacking kind of things.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, we'll probably be talking about this again in the future. This sounds like it's probably going to be a tsunami of support for our country right now who really needs quality care.
Yeah.
And until that time, be well. Big love.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break from the show and allow me to get up on a soapbox. I want to spotlight Silver Biotics Wound Gel. This is a product that is an antimicrobial layer that helps with cuts, lacerations, skin irritations, and first and second degree burns. So it utilizes silver sol technology, which we've talked about. This is the ability to steal electrons from pathogens, making it more effective in the body. So the company has substantiated its claims with 420 independent studies, as well as 60 patents pending on this groundbreaking tech. So I endorse it because it works, but also due to the extensive research and scientific validation the company has done. So in an independent in vitro report, this is very important, we compared Armor Gel to 7 other similar skincare products, such as triple antibiotic ointment, the standard of care. The study focused on the kill rate for MRSA, VRE, E. coli pathogens responsible for severe emergency room infections. Within a 4-hour window, Armor Gel completely neutralized the pathogens, and this was a feat that was unmatched by any other product in the study. So the Silver Biotics Wound Gel stands out not only for its performance, but actually its price point. So this is a must-have for moms, for coaches, nurses, doctors, anybody concerned about the body's largest organ, the skin. And in today's environment, I just saw a fact where MRSA infections are up 35% since 2020. This is crucial. So we just need to be prepared. Don't wait for an emergency room trip. This is something to have in your cupboard. It's under $20 and you get 30% off using the code Beautifully Broken at checkout. This company is giving this to you at cost by using this code, and they are not only a sponsor of the podcast, but they are friends, and I support what they're doing in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, if you know anything about me and my Instagram, you know I love red light therapy. Specifically, LightPath LED has launched a light called the Diesel series. So this focuses on pulsed light frequencies, which have been used in wellness centers for over 20 years. These panels are 15 inches wide. They have a 5-year warranty that is the longest in the industry, and they focus on 630, 670, and 810 wavelengths of light because those are the most researched and the most powerful in the human body. This panel pulses between 1 and 9,999 hertz, and every purchase comes with a phone consultation so you can best know how to use it. LightPath LED is the panel that I've used since I got into wellness. They are tried and tested. They are a fan favorite, and I am telling you, if you shop around, you look at one of these panels next to the industry standard, you will be blown away and you will not be sorry. You can use code BeautifullyBroken for a discount to start using red light therapy in your home today. So let's jump on in and let's shine the light. Team. After battling Lyme disease and cancer for 20 years, I'm always on the lookout for cutting-edge ways to slow biological age and repair damaged tissue. A key factor is our body's ability to produce stem cells, a process that unfortunately declines sharply after age 30. In fact, age-related disease can reduce your stem cells by up to 50%. This is where Stem Regen comes in. This is a stem cell booster that has personally helped me, increasing circulating stem cells by up to 300 million in 1 month. You heard that right. Stem Regen optimizes your body's repair system using powerful adaptogens to naturally enhance the stem cell production within the body. For full scientific deep dive research, you can check out episode 179 with founder Christian Drapeau. And I'm excited to share that Stem Regen offers a 30-day money-back guarantee on purchases through the official website. You can use code BeautifullyBroken for $30 off your first order. Let's go, let's grow, let's repair.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's show, head over to Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and please leave us a review. 5 stars if you loved it. And before you leave, there is one big way you can continue the learning and the deepening of this relationship we started in this very episode. You can go to beautifullybroken.world and check out our brand new website store. Listed are all the wellness technologies, the supplements, the educational courses that I love and I personally use. Most of them offer significant discounts just by using the link or the discount code, which is normally Beautifully Broken, and they do support the podcast through affiliations. Now, we have a brand new feature. If you want to see the beautiful faces of our guests and watch me unbox and review products, you can head over to our new YouTube channel, Beautifully Broken World. I do have to tell you, our OnlyFans page is under construction, so stand by for that. This last announcement is from my vast team of internet lawyers. The information on this podcast is for educational purposes only. By listening, you agree not to use the information found here as medical advice to treat any medical condition in yourself or others, and you're always going to consult your physician for any medical issues that you may be having. My closing. The world is shifting. We need you at your very best. So please take the steps to always be upgrading. Remember, while life can be painful, putting the pieces back together is a beautiful process. I love you. I'm your host, Freddie Kimmel. Big love.
Running an online business is hard enough without the stress and time consumption of managing hosting. Whether managing one WordPress site or dozens, Kinsta's managed solutions offer speed, enterprise-grade security, and an intuitive dashboard. With 24/7, 365 human-only expert support, get peace of mind that your sites stay online, secure, and performing their best. Start today and get your first month free with migrations handled for you. Learn more at kinsta.com/podcast. That's KINSTA.com/podcast.